Welcome to Britton Farms Homestead. I'm April. Thanks for coming by. If you're liking what you're seeing, go ahead, subscribe, like, hit that bell notification, hit that thumbs up button. It's the best way to support us, and it's free. Today, we are going to pick some green tomatoes, and we are going to pickle some green tomatoes. If you've never had pickled green tomatoes, they're pretty darn good. I'll show you an easy and simple recipe, and you don't have to have a pressure canner to preserve them. Put them on the shelf, and they'll be good for years. Come along with us. We're going to go ahead and pick some green tomatoes. All right, guys, here's our tomato row. We have a little over 200 tomatoes planted. They're all in cattle panels to keep them up off the ground. I have a few videos about planting tomatoes, what to do for disease prevention, what to do for pests. They're all in my playlist under gardening. Also, I have other videos about preserving food. That's on a playlist called Together We Preserve. I also have other channels that joined in on that, and they have added their videos. Go check it out if you'd like. So the tomatoes I'm looking for are not the ones that are about to turn yellow or ripen or anything like that. We want some of the smaller ones. The smaller ones are going to be harder. They're going to help stay crunchier because as my grandmother calls it, she likes them brickle. She does not like them mushy. So what we're going to do is we're going to find some not tiny but not huge either. I'll show you. So right here, we have a pretty good sized one. Right here, we just have a tiny one. So this one is kind of in between. This is what I want right here. And I don't know, that's a little bit bigger than a golf ball, maybe 2 golf balls put together, I don't know. But that's about the size we're looking for. Now, if you wanted to do the smaller ones, you absolutely can. You can absolutely do the big ones. But the big ones aren't going to be as crispy and crunchy after you pickle them because they have more juice and more water in them than this one will. So let's see what else we can find. These guys right here, and not all of them are going to be the same size. But I'm going to try to get them close to the same size. And I need about 5 pounds of these tomatoes. It's going to fill up, I'm doing 4 pints is what I'm doing. The recipe is for 4 pints. But from my experience, when it says 4 pints, I'm gonna get about 5. I always have an extra pint. I don't know why, but I do. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and pick these tomatoes, and then I'll show you what the next step is. So our first step is we're gonna wash these tomatoes, take the stems off, and then we're gonna cut them, probably into 4ths. Most of them. And then we're gonna put them in this bowl in salt ice water, and it's gonna stay in the fridge for 12 hours, and then we can actually start the pickling of these tomorrow. Okay, so we got some extra tomatoes here. We're gonna make fried green tomatoes out of these. These are our chunks of tomatoes for our pickled green tomatoes. And we've got pickling salt, and my grandmother's over here. Say hi, Grandmama. Hi, Grandmama. She is dissolving it because it had turned into big hunks, and it is just canning and pickling. Hence, no, that's not what we need. Canning and pickling salt. And she's just dissolving it because it was in big chunks. But we're gonna add ice to our bowl with water. We're gonna let that cool off with the salt. We're just gonna put it in there. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna put it in the fridge. 12 hours it needs to be in the fridge. So now, this is just like a cup of pickling salt that we've put in boiling water. It's cooled off. We're gonna put it in this bowl, ice. And our tomatoes. There's a little bit left in there. We're gonna put that right there and get it all in there. Get it all hot. Stir it up. And this, leaving it in this salt water ice mixture in the fridge for 12 hours helps these tomatoes to stay crunchy when you put them in the jar. And using the smaller tomatoes, we're thinking that's gonna help too, because they have less juice in them. But now we're just gonna put a lid on this, put it in the fridge for 12 hours, and then when I come back, I'll show you how to pickle them. Hey guys, so it's the next day, and we're gonna finish up making our pickled green tomatoes with my grandmother. We left them in her fridge because our fridge was full. We didn't have enough room to keep them in the fridge for the 12 hours, so we're gonna go in here and get them out. We're fixing to make these pickled green tomatoes, and by the way, you don't have to have a pressure canner to do this. It's water bath canned. I'm gonna take you step by step how to do that. So we are fixing to pull our tomatoes out of the fridge, and we're just gonna rinse them off. The icy salt water they were in just helps them stay crunchy. Once you pickle them and put them in the jars, we don't need that anymore. It doesn't go in the brine, it doesn't go in the jars. We're just gonna take it, rinse them off. Now that we got our green tomatoes rinsed off, my grandmother has already got us 4 pint jars that are sanitized, washed, and ready to go. We have our lids over here that we are fixing to put some water in and put them on a simmer. And before we pack our jars, we need to start our brine, because our brine needs to be boiling when it goes in the jars. While it's getting up to a boil, we can be packing our jars with the tomatoes. So we're gonna start off, and we're gonna put 2 cups of just white vinegar, and you can use any vinegar you want as long as it's 5% acidity. Now we're gonna add 2 cups water. We're gonna put 2 teaspoons of turmeric in here, and then we're gonna put 2 teaspoons of salt in here. And I got a helper over here that's taking care of the onions.
She give me the ugly, nasty job.
So we're gonna take a teaspoon of minced garlic and put it in each jar. Now we will put a teaspoon of peppercorn in each jar. And we are using dill weed instead of dill seed. You can use either one, but we're using dill weed, and we're gonna put a tablespoon, which is 2 teaspoons, in each jar. And I have a teaspoon, so we're gonna put 2 teaspoons of dill weed in each jar. Now we're gonna add onions to our jars. We're gonna pack our jars with onions and the green tomatoes. And you can put, I don't have a set amount of the onions to put in here. You do this to your taste. If you like onions, you onion it up. So we've brought our brine up to a boil. We've got our jars packed now. Now we're gonna pull the brine over the top of our tomatoes. We're gonna leave a ½ inch of headspace. Now we're gonna wipe off our lids with a wet paper towel, our rims. Make sure we don't have anything on there to keep it from sealing. Then we're gonna take our lids and rings. We're gonna put them on finger tight. We've got all of our jars packed. We're gonna put them in a hot water bath now. No pressure canner needed. We're just gonna put our jars in here. The water needs to be at 1 to 2 inches over the top. And once it comes to a boil, we're gonna time it, and it needs to be in here 20 minutes. Okay, so we ended up with an extra pint. So this recipe was supposed to make 4 pints, but it actually come out to 5. And we've got them in our hot water, and we're just waiting for it to boil, and then we'll set our timer for 20 minutes. So they've been here for 20 minutes boiling. We're gonna cut them off, and we're gonna take them out. We're gonna sit them on a towel. Whew. We now have all the pickled green tomatoes, all 5 pints, sitting out, and we're just waiting for them to ping. So that's how you make pickled green tomatoes. I hope you like what you're seeing. Go ahead, subscribe, like, hit that bell notification. If you have a different recipe for pickled green tomatoes, go ahead and put that in the comments below. Let me know how you pickle your green tomatoes. Thanks for watching. God bless y'all.